Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome to Nintendo's E3 Media Briefing. We have a great show for you at E3 this year, and we're glad you could spend a little bit of time with us this morning learning about our products. Our goals today are to first update you on the state of our business and some of our corporate direction and initiatives. Then we want to share with you some of our perspective on the industry and strategies. Finally, we're going to show you the product, which of course I know is what you're all here for. And then at the end, we're going to answer a few of your questions, because I know there are many. Now, the news for Nintendo in this 2003 has been very, very positive. This chart shows the unit shares for next generation hardware from January to March. And as you can see, Nintendo gained 10 share points, 2 from Xbox and 8 from Sony. It all started in February with our GameCube Soft Bundle, which offered to consumers a choice of 1 of 4 titles when they purchased the GameCube. And it was fueled by the launch of The Legend of Zelda in March. Now, on a worldwide basis, Nintendo's installed base now exceeds Xbox by about 1.3 million units. So we're in a clear number 2 position. That's it. That's it. We go back and look at the US market again, and just look at March system sales, including Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and GameCube and all the hardware systems. In March, almost 60% of all the hardware sold were Nintendo systems. Now that's consumers speaking with their cash. The story on software is just as powerful. If you look at this chart, it shows you the tie ratios for the home consoles, and you can see that at just under 10, Nintendo was in a very strong position with GameCube. And of course, if we look at the top-selling games for the first quarter, it comes as no surprise, Nintendo garnered 3 of the top 4 spots in the bestseller list, with The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and Pokemon Ruby, and Pokemon Sapphire. So let's take a look at those key launches for us in March and give you a little bit of an update. Zelda: The Wind Waker has already sold over 1 million copies in just 8 weeks. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire combined have sold through to over 1.7 million consumers. And Game Boy SP has sold through to over 950,000 consumers. It's an unbelievable hat trick for us in March and an unbelievable success. So the net of all this success is this. When you look at all corporate dollars in March, Nintendo's share was 39%, taking 2 points from Microsoft and 9 points from Sony. Now at the same time, we're happy with the success, but we recognize that changes are needed. And many of these changes are already underway. But what won't change is our commitment to our core characters and our special talent in inventing and reinventing the world's best video game franchise characters. Now, we do insist that each installment of a franchise be better than the last. But our characters will remain true. Donkey Kong will remain a lovable ape. Link will never lose hope. And of course, Mario will never start shooting hookers. So this year, many of those characters are going to be back, and they're going to be better than ever. But perhaps the best example of this show is Mario Kart. Now, got some Mario Kart fans in the audience. Well, this time, each player can control 2 characters. 1 character to drive, and 1 to torment their enemies. Let's take a look. Thank you. And that's just the start. We've got a lot of great stuff to show you today. I want to first take a minute, though, and talk about Game Boy. Now, as we showed you, Game Boy Advance SP has made Game Boy more popular than ever. More than 13 million Game Boy Advances have been sold since we launched in 2001. But not surprisingly, once again, rivals have designs on our market, and who can blame them? But our strategy remains unchanged, a devotion to innovation, high quality, and a wide game selection, and of course, value. Now this year we intend to capitalize on Game Boy in another way to help boost our GameCube business. This year we'll be showing more than 20 games on the show floor that contain connectivity with the Nintendo GameCube. It's a very exciting way for gamers to enhance their gameplay by sharing data. Now, another thing that will be shown on the show floor this year is Game Boy Player. We'll launch it in the NOA territories and in Europe during the month of June. It's already launched and a great success in Japan. We think that this is a great way for consumers to play their Game Boy games on their TV, and of course there are more than 1,000 Game Boy games already released. The e-reader, which we launched last fall, is also another great aspect of our connectivity story. This accessory for Game Boy Advance allows consumers to use data from special trading cards to load their games onto their GameCube or onto their Game Boy Advance. When they load the games onto the Game Boy Advance, they can go ahead and exchange data then with the GameCube and extend their gameplay. Go to the next slide. So, if we get through the e-reader, the overall story for Nintendo about the connectivity is a very powerful one. Losing a few of our words and slides here. But the most important story, of course, of connectivity this year is the connection we're making with our partners, the third-party developers. And one man is leading the drive to improve our relationship with our developers and improve the number of games that we can bring to our systems. And that's our president, Mr. Satoru Iwata.
Thank you, George, and welcome. Next week, it will be 1 year since I became president of Nintendo. And in that time, a lot of people have given me their opinions on how Nintendo should change or not change. I believe we remain the company that best understands the video game industry, but also understand that in any business, new circumstances require new answers. And at the start of this year, Nintendo did face some challenges. The most obvious concern, Nintendo GameCube. It had not sold through the way we planned, and its reputation among some players was unfavorable. Next was the primary software that supports GameCube. In the first half of last year, we didn't release enough exclusive titles. Then, in the second half, high-quality games like Mario Sunshine and Metroid Prime did not fully meet our expectations. Third, we had not yet demonstrated why connectivity between GameCube and Game Boy Advance was an important reason to buy. Fourth, we began to see worry about GameCube from some retailers and licensees. And finally, as always, there was yet another new competitor to our powerful Game Boy franchise. Beyond Nintendo, the market itself faces important issues. For many years, it was easy to interest players with better graphics, more complex challenges, and more mature content. Each of these was an open door to higher sales. But each of those openings is now starting to narrow. In this generation, we already have graphics so realistic that you might think you are watching television. So tomorrow's systems do not have much room to improve. Most core gamers, like you, like me, love challenges that are more difficult, more time-consuming, and more complex. But how does these sub-busy people who spend most of their day working or going to school? Finally, as we witness the success of Vice City, our industry has to ask itself how much further we are willing to go. TV and movies found their limits. So will we. These challenges to both my company and our industry are considerable. But I stand before you today with a clear message. Of course, I want you to know that we understand the challenges. But this is not a matter of understanding. This is a matter of action. My real message today is at Nintendo, we are not waiting to act. We are already acting. The size of our existing creative teams in Kyoto has already increased. And we are also opening a new development office in Tokyo, our first outside of Kyoto. We also have needs for other kinds of games, ones that appeal to every kind of gamer and every kind of taste. For these, we are turning aggressively to our great third-party partners. We are active here on many fronts. We are about to see the first product of our Triforce partnership with Namco and Sega. This F-Zero game will play both inside and outside of your home. In the arcades, you can download options to take with you to build a custom racer like no other. Then, bring that model back to the arcades to race against opponents. The talented designers at LucasArts have given us a beautiful exclusive, Rebel Strike. I will let the picture tell the story.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
What is thy bidding, my master?
The son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi.
Do or do not. There is no try.
And the same talented people at Factor 5 who designed this game are also at work on another exclusive for GameCube. You will be hearing more about this soon. In the fighting category, few names compared to Namco's Soul Calibur. There have been many great versions, but you will see in a minute there is an exclusive one on its way to GameCube with a familiar new hero, Link. Capcom is giving us several exclusive titles, none more important than Resident Evil franchise. A new version is coming, an important step to expand our appeal.
Resident Evil 4.
Hi, I'm Shinji Mikami. Recent rumors would suggest I have been fired, but I assure you, I am still happily working at Capcom. Most unfortunately, I am unable to attend E3 this year because I am so busy working hard on Resident Evil 4. Development of Resident Evil 4 exclusively for GameCube is proceeding very smoothly, so you should all be looking forward to it.
Beautiful Joe and Killer 7 are coming along smoothly. They are so original, they will blow your mind. And one more thing, Resident Evil 4 will be scary than ever before. Don't pee your pants.
Resident Evil 4.
Our development agreements are reaching around the world. At this E3, we will see a brand new title named Geist from a new partner called N-Space. They are a great developer whose previous game credit include Duke Nukem. N-Space began by doing work for America's space agency, but its newest work is a GameCube exclusive collaboration with Nintendo. In this frightening game, the spirit of your character invisibly moves to inhabit others, a true out-of-body experience.
Some mess down there, huh?
For many years, Nintendo and Square enjoyed a very good relationship. This year, that relationship is renewed. The result is the beautiful GameCube exclusive Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. As you and friends set out to renew your life source, of course, some problems occur. Four different players can use their Game Boy Advance to solve puzzles and defeat enemies. No Game Boy Advance cartridge is needed. Together, these partnerships makes us stronger. We are delivering on our promise to create games for all ages, all nationalities, and all tastes. But of course, the work of all our partners must be matched by things that are new and attractive from Nintendo itself. So I have asked one of our developers to come out and show you a couple of things. You might know him. He is now in his 26th year at Nintendo. Please welcome Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Nintendo's media briefing. Last year, I surprised you all with visuals of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. And I hope to do the same this year with what I am about to show you. All of you who are here this morning are quite lucky. Again this year, I'd like to ask my good friend from NOA and one of the best translators I know, Bill Toinen, to interpret for me. よろしくお願いします。日本語であります。今日は我々と協力してゲームを作る
with whom I'm currently cooperating on development to join us here today.
まず私の長い間の友人である
Allow me to introduce the first of these, a longtime friend of mine from Electronic Arts, Mr. Will Wright.
In 2000,
Will made game history when he introduced The Sims. It's a very historical moment. Since then, it has gone on to become, I think, the #1 PC franchise in history, selling something like 75 countries around the world to 25 million users. Despite his newfound fame, I'm happy to say that Will is still willing to work with a guy like me.
で今度ね、やっぱり10年ぶりに仕事ができるんでとても僕は
This is our first project together in about 10 years.
で今度シムズのゲームキューブとゲームボーイアドバンス
And we've actually decided to make a version of The Sims that is going to connect gameplay between the Nintendo GameCube and the Game Boy Advance.
今日はちょっと自分です
I hope you've come here to tell us a little bit more about that today, Will.
Yes, thank you. And I'll always answer your phone calls. Last year we released The Sims on the GameCube, and we were very pleased with the results of it. Now we're ready to take the next step with it. When we saw the innovative plans that Nintendo had for the GameCube to Game Boy Advance connectivity, we thought about it and we thought this could work really well for The Sims. So now we're developing 2 new versions of The Sims as a result of this. First, we're doing a new, more expansive version on the GameCube, which you can see tomorrow on the show floor. And secondly, we're doing a completely redesigned version of The Sims, specifically for the Game Boy Advance. This is going to be the first time that we've taken any one of our sim games to a handheld gaming platform. Both of these will be complete standalone games, but when you connect the two, there'll be a host of new features enabled on both sides. New levels will appear both in the GameCube neighborhood and on the Game Boy Advance town. Sims can hop across from one system to the other, either for short visits or to take up permanent residence. And GameCube Sims that entered the Game Boy Advance can play 10 action-oriented mini-games to earn you money and skills that they can bring back to them to the GameCube. Players can also use the Game Boy Advance as kind of a transportation system. They can hop onto the Game Boy Advance, move to another GameCube, bring it to your friend's house. And finally, when you connect two Game Boy Advance versions of The Sims together, you can play kind of an action-oriented bidding auction game to win you objects on the GameCube. So I'm really excited that we have this opportunity to work with Nintendo and move the Sims franchise into a new direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will.
今日はね、ウィルさんをはじめとしてエレクトロニックアーツのいろんな才能のあ
At
る
Nintendo, you know, we're really happy to be working not only with you, Will, but with all the talented teams at EA.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうござい
Very
ます。
much.
ウィルさんが今退場する前
Now,
に、
before Will leaves,
家のリカテロ
we'd actually like EA President John Riccatello to introduce to us on video some of the GameCube and connectivity titles we can expect to see from EA in the near future.
それを見てみましょうか。
Let's take a look.
This year you're going to see EA's best titles on the Nintendo GameCube. You'll see Madden, but that's obvious. But you're also going to see Medal of Honor, Lord of the Rings, Bond. Nintendo GameCube is not for kids or just kids. Teens and young adults are going to love it. The best content on a great platform.
Mad skills, I will get wild.
ありがとう、ウィルさん。
Thank you very much, Will.
さて、去年僕このステー
Now,
ジでゲームボーイアドバンス
last year on this stage, we had a 4-player Legend of Zelda 4 Swords
放
competition.
送で遊んだんですけどね、一緒に。今年はその放送度をゲームキューブ用に改良して
We've made some improvements to 4 Swords
ゲームキューブならではの
by adding elements that can only be achieved on Nintendo GameCube.
でゲームボーイとゲームキューブの新しいコネクティビティの
It's
ス
a
タイル
brand new connectivity title.
ちょっとご覧
Let
く
me
ださい
show it to you.
まず4台のゲーム
First
ボー
in
イを
this
使うん
game,
ですね
you're going to connect 4 Game Boy
4人
Advance
のプレイヤーは
systems
そ
to the
れぞれ
Nintendo
の
GameCube.
ゲームボーイアドバンスを持ちます
4 players will play this game watching both the TV screen
で最初はテレ
and
ビ
their
を
own Game Boy
使うん
Advance
です
screens.
ね
Let's start off on the TV screen, which you see in the center here.
で4人が地上で1つの画面を使って遊びます
So they're playing all together on this single screen.
みんな動くとこうズー
And
ム
as
し
you
たり
can see, as they move around, this camera zooms in and out.
みんなが集まって、
As you can
横
see,
の画
everybody
面
is getting
に
together here.
移動していきます4
Moving
人
along.
スクロールしますねあ家がありました
As
ね
you can see, there's a house here.
赤のリンク
It
が
looks like
家に入
Red
りま
Link
した
has gone inside the house.
はい彼は家の中を遊
He's
びで
vanished from the GameCube,
Game
from
Boy
the TV
Advance.
screen, and appeared on the Game Boy Advance screen where the gameplay continues.
はい2人目も3人目も
It looks like the
家の中
second,
に
the
遊び
third,
ましたが
and the fourth links have
あ
all
最
gone
後の人はもう
inside.
宝箱がありません
It
ね
looks like that last guy doesn't get any treasure.
で表に出てくると
So let's see, they'll come back outside here.
全員出てきましたね地下への入り口が出てき
And
ま
as
し
you
た
can see,
ね
there's a hole there that
ここ
leads
から地下道に
underground.
入っていくこともできます
So I think they can go down underground from here and again appear on the Game Boy Advance screen.
はいゲームボーイアドバンスの方で地下を行きますね
So they go running along through the Game Boy Advance screen.
最初に入った人だけ宝箱ですね
It looks like the first person in there gets the treasure chest.
みんなが上がってどこ行くでしょうねあ家の横に出て
And
きまし
it looks like they've all come out back on the TV behind the house.
たここでみんな集まって上の画面に移動ですね
And so then they move up above.
今度は洞窟があります
Now here there's a cave.
やっぱり洞窟に入っていくとこれダンジョン
And it looks like, yeah, when they go inside the cave, they appear back on the Game Boy Advance, and essentially it's a dungeon.
いかにも怪しい4人で動かす岩がありました
What a surprise! There's a block that needs to be pushed. And it's the perfect size for 4 people.
で表ではルピーがバラバラ
As
と
soon as they push it, you can see that hundreds of rupees are now falling on the
各国が出るの
TV screen.
これねやっぱりゲームキューブの処理速度であるとこんな簡単なんですね
So as you can see, with the GameCube processing power, we're able to put all kinds of things on screen at once,
カートナックの
including all of these Dark Knights.
なかなかみんな頑張ってた。こういう感じですね。こういう感じ
This
なん
gives you a basic idea of the
会場の方で皆さん
gameplay. This will be
ぜひこれ遊ん
playable
でみてくだ
tomorrow on the
さい。
show floor, so please take a look at it.
僕プレスの皆さんによくね、
Now, the question I get asked most by all you media is, what's your favorite game?
で僕は立場上はやっぱりドンキーコングとかスーパーマリオ、
I usually say Donkey Kong or Mario Brothers.
他社のゲームで何ですかって言われるんです、ね。
But when I'm asked about other companies' games,
いつも僕はパックマンって答えてました。
I've always answered Pac-Man.
もう本当僕パックマンが大好きなんです。
See, I'm a really big Pac-Man fan.
でパックマンをねゲームキューブで作っちゃえって作りました。
Actually, I kind of I went and I made a Pac-Man game for GameCube.
でこれナムコさんの許可もらってないので。
And to tell you the truth, since I still haven't gotten Namco's approval for this idea,
今日はねそれを承認してもらおうと思ってすごい人に来てもらいました。
I've actually invited a rather important individual here today to try to get approval for this project.
僕の尊敬するナムコのパックマンのデ
He's
ザ
a
イナー。
creator who I respect very much, Mr. Toru Iwatani, the creator of Pac-Man.
Hey, my friend.
Thank you.
ドキドキする。
I'm kind of nervous.
おはようございます。実は告白がありまして。
I have a confession to make.
聞こえてましたよね。
You heard what I said, right?
パックマン僕大好きでね。で実はゲームキューブと
I'm a huge Pac-Man fan.
ゲームボーイアドバンスを使
I
って
had this idea for a GameCube, Game Boy Advance connectivity maze game software.
迷路のゲームとか絶対パックマンなんです。
Basically, I mean, I think Pac-Man is the king of all maze games.
でそれ作りたくて勝手に作ってしまいました。
I really got this urge to turn it into a Pac-Man game, and I couldn't help myself.
で今日はぜひここで一緒に遊んでほしいんです。
So I'd really like it if we could play this together today.
Did he?
そうです。
Yes, please.
で4人で遊びますんでね。
But since this is a four-player game,
ウィルさんも
why don't we invite Will Wright back out and
来てください。
have George Harrison come join us?
も一緒にね遊びましょう。ここにあります。でこれをまず、岩谷さんにゲームボーイアドバンスを持ってもらいます。
We're going to have Mr. Iwatani play on the Game Boy Advance first. The player with the Game Boy Advance controls Pac-Man.
でアドバンスの画面でパックマンオリジナルのパックマンと同じように遊ぶ。
Now on the Game Boy Advance, the gameplay is going to be exactly the same as the original
そ
Pac-Man
して後
arcade
の3
games.
人はゴーストとしてテレビ画面でこう
The three other players
を見ながら
use
みんなが追い
GameCube
かけます。
controllers to control the ghost.
声を掛け合って追いかけます。
But they can only see limited range on the TV screen, so they have to talk to each other and try to catch
ウィルさん
Pac-Man.
は青のゴースト。
So we'll have, looks like George is going to be red, Will is going to be the blue ghost, and I'll be Mr. Pink.
でパックマンがスタートを押すと始まるんですけども。
So as soon as Pac-Man presses start, we can get...
ちょっと待って。
Oh, just a second.
これでもし僕が勝ったら
Tell you what, if I win, will you approve this project for me?
やりましょう。
Oh,
じゃあスタート。
okay, press start.
You're red.
僕青です。よし頑張るぞ。
Okay, I'm blue.
Okay, let's go, guys. I got to win this.
パックマンは、
Now, of course,
尾を引いて走りますからみんなで探しましょう。
Pac-Man leaves a trail behind him wherever he goes, so we have to look for that.
パワーエス取ると
But if he eats a power pellet, then the tables have turned. Oh no! Pac-Man can eat the ghosts. He got me.
Upper right.
ジョージもっとこう
Come on, George. You got to say more in English, otherwise people don't know how much fun we're having.
Here he comes.
どこに
Where is he?
誰がいやジョージが
Wow, this is incredible. Looks like George caught him.
パックマン
So now what we do is George trades his controller for the Game Boy Advance to play Pac-Man in the next round.
よし次ジョージみんなで掴みましょう。
So now we have to chase after George.
よし
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
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 Sandwich.
よしやりました。あんまり遊んでてもあれなんで今
Now,
ね
unfortunately, we can't play this for too long today, because we do have
少な
other
く
things
と
to
も
show you.
任天堂が勝ちましたよね。
But it looks like Nintendo did win.
OK ですよね。
So can we get approval for this?
よしじゃあ
Yes.
承認もらいます。
ありがとうございます。
そうですちょっと入れてくださいね。
George, Will, thank you very much.
岩谷さん、ありがとうございます。じゃあそういうことでやりますけども。
So, okay, I'm gonna continue with development of this, okay?
で、岩谷さん、ナムコさんとはもっと他にいろんなプロジェクトやってます、ね。
But actually, I'm working with Mr. Iwatani and Namco on several other projects as well.
8月にはソウルキャリバー2。
Of course, we know in August that Soul Calibur 2, featuring Adult Link, is going to be launched.
で、来年はスターフォックス。
And next year we have Star Fox.
ですね。その間にこれいきます。
And hopefully before then we'll be able to launch Pac-Man as well.
じゃあどうもよろしく。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Mr. Iwatani.
皆さんに遊んでもらえるようになりました。パックマン、それから
Pac-Man
ゼルダ、
to Zelda Four Swords,
それから EA のスポーツタイトル、
EA sports titles and connectivity
を
titles.
使ったいろんなタイトルを紹
We've
介して
shown you a very strong lineup
どれ
of
も新し
gameplay
い体
enhanced
験と面白い
connectivity
ソフトばかり
titles.
ですね。
I think these are all offering new experiences and new forms of gameplay.
で、友達とこうみんなで集まる任天堂
I
スタ
think
イル
these
っていうの
games
が
really
さらに
further enhance that Nintendo style play with your friends fun.
で、明日の会場ではもう一つコネクティ
And
ブなゼ
actually
ル
we're
ダ
going to
のソフ
have
トがあり
one
ます。
more Legend of Zelda based connectivity software title on the show floor tomorrow.
ぜひとも遊んでみてください。
So please look for that one too.
じゃあ最後にもう一人、重要な友人を
Finally, I
紹介
have
し
one more good friend whom I've invited today.
コナミの小島秀夫監督です。
Please offer a round of applause for Mr. Hideo Kojima from Konami.
小島さんこんにちは。とても長い付き合いなん
Mr.
ですけど、
Kojima and I have known each other for a long time now.
今回のステージでいよいよ
And I'm very happy that today on this stage we can finally talk to you about that incredible title that we're
素
working
晴
on
らしいコラ
together.
ボレーションの話をどうぞ小島さんの口から、
I'll let Mr. Kojima explain it.
はい、僕、この業界に入ってですね17年ゲームを作ってます。で今ゲームを作れてるのも、この会場でこうして入れるのもやっぱり宮本さんのおかげです。で僕20年前に宮本さんのゲームはマリオなんですけども、マリオに出会いまして、マリオに出会って今の僕があるっていう気持ちです。で、17年作ってるんですけども、不幸なことに、任天堂さんのハードを携わることはなかったので、今回の宮本さんとのコラボレーション非常に、興奮してますし、やる気も、いっぱいあります。
It's been my 17th year in this industry, and if it wasn't for Mr. Miyamoto, I wouldn't be standing here today. And if I didn't play Mr. Miyamoto's Mario 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been in this industry. And unfortunately, in these past 17 years, I've never created a game for a Nintendo system. And today, I'm really happy that I am working on a Nintendo game.
じゃあ今日はその意気込みで紹介してもらいましょうか。
So we do have, I believe, a video today. Is that correct?
Yes.
はい、では夢が叶ったメタルギアソリッドザ・ツインスネークスのビデオをご覧ください。
Okay, we would like to show you the video for Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Genes exist to pass down our hopes and dreams for the future through our children. Living is a link to what will come. All life is tethered to the future. Loving each other, teaching each new generation, then the world can change. I finally realized it. The true meaning of life. Thank you, Snake.
The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next-generation special forces being led by members of Foxhound. You will have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the President of ArmsTech, Kenneth Baker. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do.
Okay, I'm ready to go. You can't fight your genes. It's fate. I had heard that the Metal Gear project was scrapped.
Oh, you're wrong. The nuclear threat hasn't disappeared. The threat is more real than ever before.
PAL code number 1 confirmed.
The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
PAL code number 2 confirmed.
We were conducting exercises with a new type of experimental weapon. A truly historical weapon.
PAL code number 3 confirmed.
Oh, those boys are totally insane!
PAL code entry complete. Detonation code activated. Ready for launch.
It's moving. But how do I stop it? Damn!
Nothing can stop Metal Gear now.
Oh, I've waited a long time for this day. That's good, Snake. Good. Hurt me more. Ah, yes. That's it. That's it. I remember. I've been waiting for this pain.
Everyone always wants to use the newest, latest technology. Why are you calling me brother? Who the hell are you?
I'm you! I'm your shadow!
今コラボレーションの説明をね入ったビデオでしたけども今一緒に
As you can see from the video, this is a huge collaboration for us.
作ってくれてる
We've actually got one other person here today who's working together with us on Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Dennis Dyack from Silicon Knights.
Yoshi, 頑張ります。デニスがね一緒に作ってくれてます。
So Dennis is working with us together on this title.
デニスの口から一言。
So Dennis, you could say something for us?
Yes, it's very exciting to be here. One of the things that I've often said about working with Miyamoto-san, and is very much like working with Aristotle. Working with Kojima-san is like very much working with Socrates. So this kind of collaboration for us is the most exciting thing possible, and we really believe it will bring an exciting experience to the GameCube players out there. But more importantly than that in itself, I think, is a relationship that's being bonded, and I really think it sends a strong message to the future of the future collaborations to come for Nintendo and Konami and the future of video games.
ご存知のようにね、任天堂は
As you all know, Nintendo has been working on a number of collaborations lately, including Metroid Prime with Retro Studios in Texas, Eternal Darkness with Dennis's team in Canada.
日本と海外のコラボレーションのチームを
So we've got some unique experience and know-how by blending these strengths and these flavors of Western developers and Eastern developers into concrete form.
こういうノウハウを消化させて今度は京都と
So using this know-how, I think there's a lot that you can look forward to.
このコラボレーションで作れる
With
メタル
this
ギア
collaboration between Tokyo, Kyoto, and Toronto in the next Metal Gear Solid game.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
頑張りましょう。
どうもありがとう。このようにエキサイティングなゲームがますます
So as you can see, we've put together a broad and exciting lineup for the GameCube. There's a lot for you to look forward to in the latter half of this year.
それではマイクを再び
And with that, I'd like to turn the mic back over to George and Mr. Iwata.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Miyamoto. Even after 26 years with the company, there is no end to his creativity. And I hope that is true of everything Nintendo does. Our purpose this week is to demonstrate the power of Game Boy Advance the power of GameCube, and power of connectivity, and power of our partnerships. Let's take one more look at this power in action. We entered this E3 with a momentum, and we will build on it in the month ahead. As always, Nintendo will prosper as we move into the true mass market. Nintendo has never been more focused, never more determined, never more willing to take risks, and we will not retreat. Make no mistake, we are staying right in the middle of the home console battle. The successor to Nintendo GameCube is already in development. And this time, we will not give our competitors a head start reaching the market. We are going to do it our way, and we are going to succeed. Thank you all. And George and I look forward to answering your questions.